Hey there, treasure hunters. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1991 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a tiny coin that might just make your wallet a whole lot heavier. Yes, you heard that right, one of these little copper beauties could be worth a staggering $1.1 million. Really? I've got a jar full of them at home. But stick around, because I'll break down why this coin is worth so much, how to spot one, and what makes it so special. Plus, I'll share a funny story about how I almost threw away a rare coin. Spoiler alert, I didn't, but it was a close call. Alright, grab your change jar, a magnifying glass, and maybe a cup of coffee because we're about to uncover some serious coin treasure. Okay, let's start with the basics. The D-Mint mark means this penny was minted in Denver. Now, while billions of pennies were produced that year, there's something unique about a select few from this batch. Some of these coins have rare minting errors, like a doubled die or an off-center strike. These errors are like little factory mishaps that turn a regular coin into a collector's dream. Collectors go nuts for these flaws because they're rare, and rare equals valuable. Think of it like this: a Picasso painting with a quirky brushstroke might fetch millions. A 1991 D penny with a quirky strike? Same energy, just a lot smaller. Alright, this is where you channel your inner detective. First, look for that D-Mint mark right below the year. Got it? Good. Now, examine the coin closely. Is there any doubling on Lincoln's face or the letters? Is the coin slightly misaligned? These are signs you've hit the jackpot. Quick tip: if you don't have a magnifying glass, just borrow your kid's science kit or use your phone camera. It's 2025, use that zoom feature. Okay, confession time. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car, and there was loose change everywhere, cup holders, under the seats, you name it. I almost tossed it all into one of those coin machines at the grocery store. But then, I spotted a penny that looked odd. Something about it just didn't seem right. Turns out, it was a rare penny, not a 1991 D, unfortunately, but it was still worth $200. Moral of the story? Always check your change. You never know when you might be holding a little piece of history. Now, let's talk cash. The reason this coin can fetch such a high price is simple: demand. Coin collectors will pay top dollar for something rare, especially if it's in mint condition. That's why it's crucial to handle your coins carefully. No scratches, no fingerprints. Think of them like newborn babies, except shinier. If you think you found a 1991 D penny that's worth millions, don't just run to your local pawn shop. Take it to a professional coin dealer or get it graded by a reputable company like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and give you a proper valuation. So there you have it, folks, the incredible story of the 1991 D-Mint mark penny. Who knew a little copper coin could hold so much value? Now, it's your turn. Go check your pockets, dig through your couch cushions, and raid that piggy bank. You might just discover a hidden treasure. Before you go, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Why? Because next time, we'll be talking about even more coins that could make you rich. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. And hey, if you've got a coin story or questions about your collection, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Hey there, coin enthusiasts, treasure hunters, and anyone who's ever wondered if the change in their pocket might just change their life. Today, we're diving into a story about a tiny piece of copper that's making a massive splash in the world of collectors, the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Yep, this little guy might look like your average penny, but it's got a value that'll make you do a double take. Spoiler alert, it's worth $1.2 million. That's right, a penny that can pay off a house, buy a dream car, or fund the tropical vacation you've been daydreaming about. But here's the thing, this isn't just about the value of a coin. It's about the thrill of discovery. I mean, who doesn't love a good underdog story? And trust me, this penny's got one. So grab your piggy banks, settle in, and let's get to the bottom of why this 1994 penny is causing such a stir. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, which is why there's no little letter under the year. But here's the twist: while billions of these pennies were churned out that year, only a handful have a unique quirk that makes them ultra-rare. What's the quirk, you ask? Drum roll, please. It's a minting error. And now, before you roll your eyes, let me tell you, minting errors are the rock stars of the coin world. Collectors go absolutely nuts for them. It's like finding a typo in a famous book or a limited edition misprint of a Pokemon card. And this penny's error? It's all about the doubling. Look closely at the Liberty or the date, and you might notice a subtle doubling effect. This isn't your average smudge, it's a legit minting flaw that transforms this humble coin into a $1 million masterpiece, but let me tell you a story to make this real. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my junk drawer because, let's face it, who doesn't have one of those? Amid the rubber bands and random keys, I found an old penny. It wasn't a 1994 no-mint mark, but it got me curious. I spent the next 2 hours Googling rare coins and squinting at pennies under a magnifying glass. Turns out, my penny was worth exactly 1 cent, but the thrill of thinking I might have hit the jackpot? Totally worth it.so, back to the 1994 penny. If you've got one of these in pristine condition, no scratches, no signs of wear, it could fetch up to $1.2 million at auction. Even if it's a little beat up, it might still be worth tens of thousands. The key is condition, folks. Coin collectors are like art critics, they want perfection now. You're probably wondering how to check if you've got a 1994 no-mint mark gem. First, grab a magnifying glass and look at the details. Notice anything odd about the text or numbers? Second, consider getting it graded by a professional. Yes, it costs a little upfront, but if your penny's the real deal, it'll pay off big time.so. There you have it, the story of a humble penny that's secretly a millionaire. It's proof that treasures can be found in the most unexpected places. Maybe it's in your wallet, your car's cup holder, or even that jar of loose change collecting dust on your shelf. If you've got the itch to start hunting, I say go for it. Who knows? You might just find your own little piece of history hiding in plain sight. And if you do, promise me you'll let me know in the comments because I'd love to hear your story. Before you head off to raid your coin jar, here's one last thing. If you're into tips on coins worth money, strategies for spotting the rare ones, or just a good treasure hunting story, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got a ton of coin secrets coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss out. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got a story that will make you think twice about tossing that loose change into the tip jar. Imagine this, you're sorting through your old piggy bank, and boom, you come across a 1985 D Lincoln penny. Harmless little coin, right? Wrong. That tiny copper wonder could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right, million. Now, before you sprint to your couch cushions, let's dive into why this penny is so valuable, how to identify it, and how you could potentially cash in. But first, let me tell you about the time I almost tossed a valuable coin into a vending machine. Spoiler, it was almost the most expensive bag of chips in history. Alright, let's break it down. Why on earth is a 1985 D penny worth so much? Here's the deal, it's all about errors, rarity, and demand. The D mint mark tells us it was minted in Denver, but not all 1985 D pennies are special. We're talking about a specific error coin, like a minting mistake, that collectors absolutely drool over. Some 1985 D pennies have what's called a double die error. This means parts of the design, like Lincoln's face or the lettering, look doubled. It's like the coin had a glitch during production, and collectors go bananas for these quirks. Think of it as the coin version of a rare Pokemon card, and now, here's where it gets spicy. Most people don't even realize they have these coins. They're sitting in jars, pockets, or under car seats. One guy even found his in an old jacket. So, take a moment to think about all the random places you've stashed pennies. They could be tiny treasure chests. Let me circle back to that vending machine story. A few years ago, I was craving a Snickers, like, emergency level craving. I grabbed some loose change from my car, and as I was about to drop a penny into the slot, something caught my eye. The penny looked a little off. The D mint mark was slightly crooked. I thought, could this be one of those rare error coins? I stuffed it back in my pocket, Googled it later, and guess what? It wasn't a jackpot, but it was worth about $50. Imagine if I hadn't noticed. That's why you always double-check your coins, people. And now, let's talk numbers. Out of the billions of pennies minted in 1985, only a tiny fraction have this error. That's why they're so valuable. And here's the kicker, condition matters. If your penny looks like it's been run over by a lawnmower, it's not fetching top dollar. But if it's in mint or near mint condition, you're looking at serious cash. Collectors and auction houses are constantly on the hunt for these gems. In fact, a pristine 1985 D penny with a double die error sold for $1.3 million at auction. Can you imagine? That's life-changing money. So, here's the moral of the story: don't underestimate the power of your pocket change. That 1985 D penny could be hiding in plain sight, just waiting to make you a millionaire. Next time you're sorting through your coins, take a closer look. You never know what you might find, and before you go, I've got a challenge for you. Dig through your piggy banks, coin jars, or even your car's cup holder, and let me know in the comments if you find any interesting pennies. Who knows? Maybe one of you will be the next lucky collector. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth big money, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss a single episode. Let's make treasure hunters out of all of us. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're sifting through a jar of old pennies, maybe one you've been tossing loose change into for years, and boom! You spot a 1964 D mint mark Lincoln penny. What if I told you that little copper beauty could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard me right, $1 million penny just sitting there in your change jar. Crazy, right? Stick around, because in the next 20 minutes, we're diving deep into why this coin is worth so much, what makes it unique, and how you can tell if you've struck gold or copper, in this case. Plus, I've got a funny little story about the time I thought I hit the jackpot with a coin. Spoiler alert, I didn't, but you'll love the twist. First things first, let's talk about the basics. The 1964 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark, and it's part of the iconic Lincoln series, which has been around since 1909. By the 60s, these pennies were a staple of American pocket change. But not all 1964 D pennies are created equal. The one we're talking about today isn't just any old penny. It's a rare error coin, and that's where things get interesting. Error coins happen when something goes wrong during the minting process. It could be a double die, an off-center strike, or even a wrong planchet error. That's when the coin is struck on a metal disc meant for another coin. For the 1964 D penny, collectors are hunting for specific traits, like a double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile or the text looks like it's been stamped twice, or an ultra-high grade, which means the coin is practically flawless. What makes it worth $1.40 million? Now, let's talk money, big money. Why would anyone pay $1.4 million for a penny? The value comes down to three things: rarity, demand, and condition. Coins like the 1964 D penny with specific errors are incredibly rare. We're talking 1 in a million rare. Collectors love a good challenge, and these pennies are the holy grail for many. This is where the grading system comes in. If your coin is graded MS67 or higher, congratulations, you're sitting on a goldmine. A 1964 D penny in top-notch condition sold for $1.4 million at auction. That's not just a penny for your thoughts, that's a life-changing amount of money. How to spot a valuable 1964 D penny? Here's where your detective skills come in. Grab your magnifying glass and start inspecting. It should be just below the year. Is there doubling on the letters or Lincoln's profile? The fewer scratches and marks, the better. If you think you've got something special, send it off to a grading service like PCGS or NGC, and hey, even if it's not the $1 million coin, some 1964 D pennies can still fetch a few $100. That's not bad for something you found in your couch cushions. My almost jackpot moment. Let me tell you about the time I thought I hit the coin jackpot. I was at my grandma's house, helping her sort through an old tin of coins. I spotted a 1964 penny and immediately thought, this is it. Retirement, here I come. I spent hours Googling, inspecting, and convincing myself it was the $1 million coin. Turns out, it wasn't even a D mint mark. It was just a plain old 1964 penny worth, you guessed it, 1 cent. But hey, it made for a great bonding moment with Grandma, and I learned a ton about coin collecting. Plus, now I double-check every penny I come across, because you never know. So, there you have it, folks. The 1964 D mint mark Lincoln penny, an unassuming little coin that could turn your financial world upside down. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who loves a good treasure hunt, this is one penny you'll want to keep an eye out for. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. I'm always sharing tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money and how to find them. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. And hey, before you go, check your pockets, your piggy bank, Or that random jar of coins in the back of your closet? Who knows? You might just have $1 million penny waiting for you. Hey there, coin hunters. Imagine finding a penny in your couch cushions or at the bottom of your junk drawer and it turns out to be worth $1.5 million. Yep, you heard me right. A single, humble penny. Not gold, not silver, just good old copper. Today, we're diving into the incredible story of the 1965 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, and how you might have one sitting around without even knowing it. Stick around, because this could be your ticket to becoming a millionaire, courtesy of Abraham Lincoln himself. What makes this penny so special? Alright, let's break it down. The 1965 Lincoln penny doesn't have a mint mark, and you might think, big deal, so what? But here's the kicker. Back in 1965, the US Mint decided to stop using mint marks for a few years to discourage coin hoarding during a coin shortage. That's why you won't see a little D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco on these coins, but here's where things get spicy. Not all 1965 pennies are created equal. Some of them were struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964. These rare errors make the coin worth a fortune today. So, while most of these pennies are just worth their face value, a few of them are literal treasures. And now, let's talk numbers. A regular 1965 penny might only be worth a couple of cents if it's in good condition. But if you stumble upon one of those rare error coins? Boom, $1.5 million. That's like finding a winning lottery ticket in your pocket. Only a handful of these error coins exist. Coin collectors love a good story, and this penny has a great one. If the coin is in pristine shape, the value skyrockets. In 2010, a similar coin sold at auction for over $1 million. So, if you've got one lying around, you might want to handle it with care, like, don't just toss it in your piggy bank. Now, let me tell you about the time I thought I struck gold, or, should I say, copper. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my garage, classic Saturday activity, right, when I found a jar of old pennies. My heart stopped. Could it be? Could I have a rare, no-mint mark 1965 penny? I went through every single coin, squinting at dates and searching for that telltale error. Spoiler alert, no jackpot. But I did find a 1943 steel penny, which was pretty cool. It wasn't worth millions, but hey, it made me feel like a treasure hunter for a day. And honestly, isn't that half the fun? How to check your pennies? Alright, here's the part where you become the hero of your own coin story. To check if your 1965 penny is the real deal, look for these signs. Just a clean date, 1965. If it doesn't look like a typical copper penny, you might be onto something. Use a digital scale. A regular penny weighs about 3.11 grams. If yours is lighter, it could be an error coin. If you think you've got a winner, don't just sell it on eBay for $10. Take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a professional grading service like PCGS. They'll help you verify its authenticity and value. Let's dream for a second. If you found a 1965 penny worth $1.5 million, what would you do? Personally, I'd probably buy a lifetime supply of tacos and still have enough left for a house. Or maybe I'd start a museum of weirdly valuable stuff. Call to action. So, there you have it, folks, the story of the 1965 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that could make you a millionaire. Who knew a little piece of copper could hold so much value? Now it's your turn to check your pockets, your car's cup holder, and that jar of coins you've been ignoring for years. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of coin enthusiasts. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that are worth serious cash. Don't miss out. You never know what you might learn, or what treasure you might already have. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Imagine this: you're rummaging through a dusty old jar of pennies, the kind your grandma keeps hidden in the back of a cabinet, and you stumble across a coin so valuable it could pay for a luxury vacation or even a car. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1971 mint mark Lincoln penny, a little coin with a whopping market value of $1.6 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.6 million. Who knew a humble penny could pack such a financial punch? Now, before you go tearing apart your couch cushions, stick with me. I'm breaking down what makes this penny so special, why it's worth so much, and how you can spot one yourself. And hey, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe because I've got plenty more money-making coin tips coming your way. Let's start with the basics. The 1971 S-Mint Mark penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint, hence the S. But not every 1971 S penny is worth millions. The jackpot lies in the condition and rarity of the coin. We're talking about pennies that have been graded as MS-68 or higher by professional grading services. These are coins that look as fresh and flawless as the day they were minted. Some of these pennies have slight errors, maybe a double die or an off-center strike, that make collectors drool. Scarcity. Out of the millions of pennies produced, only a handful of these 1971 S pennies in pristine condition exist today. And when demand meets rarity, the price tag skyrockets. A quick personal story. Okay, let me share a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was at a garage sale, the kind where everything's 50 cents and covered in a fine layer of dust. I picked up an old coffee tin full of coins for $5. When I got home, I started sorting through them. Most were ordinary, but there was this one shiny penny that caught my eye. Long story short, it wasn't a 1971 S Mint Mark, but it was worth $50. Not bad for a penny, right? The point is, treasures can be hiding in plain sight, even in the most unexpected places. The S Mint Mark will be just below the date. If there's no S, keep looking. Use a magnifying glass to check for scratches or wear. The closer it looks to perfect, the better. Look for doubling in the lettering or numbers, and unusual marks that could indicate a mint error. If you think you found a winner, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give it an official grade and verify its value. Here's the funny thing about coin collectors: they'll pay top dollar for something you'd probably toss in a tip jar. Why? It's all about completing their collections. The 1971 S penny is like the rare trading card of the coin world. If a collector's missing this piece, they'll pay big to fill that gap. And let's not forget the bragging rights. Owning a $1.6 million penny is the ultimate flex for any coin enthusiast. It's like saying, yeah, my wallet's heavier than yours, and it's all because of a penny. The 1971 S Mint Mark Lincoln penny is proof that even the smallest things can hold incredible value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone with a jar of pennies on your dresser, you could be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Now, here's your mission: go grab that jar of coins, start sorting, and see what you find. And if you think you've struck gold or copper, in this case, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. I've got tons of tips and strategies for finding valuable coins, spotting hidden treasures, and maybe even changing your life with a single penny. Who knew coin collecting could be this exciting, right? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe now for more tips on finding coins worth serious money, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow treasure hunters. Happy hunting, and good luck! Hey there, coin enthusiasts! Imagine this: you're digging through your pocket change, just looking for enough quarters for a vending machine snack. You flip over a penny and bam! That little copper beauty could be worth a whopping $1.7 million. Crazy, right? Well, today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1987 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Yep, a penny that's technically worth $1 million. Stick around, and I'll tell you what makes this coin so special, how to spot one, and how you might already have one lying around. Plus, I've got a wild personal story to share about a penny I almost threw away. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Let's start with the basics. The D on the penny stands for Denver, where it was minted. Over 4.6 billion pennies were made at the Denver Mint in 1987, so you're probably thinking, why is this one worth millions? Great question. The answer lies in errors and rarity. Some 1987 D pennies have unique minting errors, like doubling on the lettering or Lincoln's profile looking slightly distorted. These little oopsies in the minting process are what collectors drool over. Imagine a typo in a book making it worth millions. Same concept. Now, let's talk about what to look for. First, grab a magnifying glass, or use your phone's camera, because let's face it, who actually owns a magnifying glass anymore? Check for these things. Look at the letters in Liberty or In God We Trust. If they look like they've been stamped twice, you've hit the jackpot. Is Lincoln looking a little stretched, squished, or just plain weird? That's a good sign. Mint condition. If your penny looks like it just rolled out of the mint, it's worth more. Scratched up pennies, not so much. Here's the thing: collectors love rare coins, and they'll pay big bucks to get their hands on one. In 2024, one of these pennies sold at auction for $1.7 million. That's enough to buy a mansion, a couple of fancy cars, and still have change left over for a yacht. The value comes from a mix of rarity, demand, and good old collector competition. Okay, time for my penny story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car, that dark, crumb-filled abyss under the seats. I found a penny covered in what I thought was gum. Gross, right? I was about to chuck it, but then I remembered something I'd read about rare coins. I cleaned it up, with gloves, obviously, and guess what? It wasn't worth $1.7 million, but a collector bought it off me for $50. $50 for a penny I almost trashed. Moral of the story? Never underestimate pocket change.so. What do you do if you think you've got a valuable penny? First, don't clean it with soap or chemicals, collectors like M Natural. Next, take it to a professional coin grader or an auction house. They'll confirm its value and help you sell it. And hey, if it's worth millions, don't forget who gave you the tip. Alright, folks, we've covered a lot today, from what makes the 1987 D penny so valuable to how you can find and sell one. If you've got a jar of old pennies sitting around, it's time to start digging. Who knows? You might just be sitting on a small fortune. Before you go, here's the deal. If you love learning about valuable coins and how to spot hidden treasures, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and stories to share. And who knows? The next penny you find could be your ticket to millionaire status. Have you ever checked your pocket change and thought, what if one of these pennies is worth a fortune? Well, today, we're diving into one of the most surprising stories in coin collecting, the 1998 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, currently valued at a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right, one penny that's worth more than a house in some places. So, grab your penny jars, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and maybe even find your next big payday. And stick around because I'm sharing a hilarious story about the time I thought I struck it rich with a penny, and totally didn't. Spoiler alert, it involves an awkward trip to a coin shop. Let's start with the basics. What makes the 1998 no-mint Mark penny so valuable? First, if you're new to coin collecting, no-mint mark simply means the coin was made in Philadelphia, where they don't bother stamping their pennies with a mint mark. Now, not every 1998 no-mint mark penny is worth millions, so don't go quitting your job just yet. What makes this specific penny valuable is a rare error that occurred during production. This error, known as the wide AM variety, refers to the spacing between the letters A and M in America on the reverse side of the coin. On most pennies, the letters are close together. But on this special one, there's a noticeable gap. Why? Well, the mint accidentally used a reverse die meant for proof coins, which are usually super fancy and meant for collectors. This mix-up created a limited batch of these error coins. Now, let me paint you a picture. Imagine someone in 1998, casually buying a pack of gum with one of these pennies. Little did they know, they were handing over something that could one day pay off someone's student loans. Wild, right? Here's where things get interesting. The reason these coins are worth so much today is their rarity. Collectors go absolutely bananas for error coins like this because they're like hidden treasures. But the condition of the penny matters, too. If you find one in poor shape, it might still fetch a nice sum, maybe a few $1,000s. But a pristine, uncirculated one? That's where the $1 million magic happens. So, if you've been letting pennies rattle around in your car's cup holder, it's time to give them a second chance at life. Now, let me tell you about the time I thought I found one of these bad boys. I was cleaning out an old jar of coins my grandma had stashed away, the kind with a little bit of everything from Canadian pennies to arcade tokens. Anyway, I spotted a 1998 penny and thought, this is it. I've made it. I'm about to become a millionaire. I rushed to a coin shop, all giddy, and handed it over to the expert. He pulled out his magnifying glass, inspected it for what felt like an eternity, and then gave me that look. The one that says, bless your heart. Turns out, it was just a regular penny, but hey, the experience taught me two things. 1, always double check for the wide AM, and 2, it's okay to dream big even if it's about a tiny piece of copper. So, what's the takeaway here? Always check your change. That penny in your pocket might just be the ticket to a life-changing discovery. And don't be afraid to dig into those old jars, coin rolls, or even your couch cushions. You never know what treasures might be hiding in plain sight. If you found this video helpful or at least entertaining, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more stories, tips, and strategies for finding coins worth serious money coming your way. And hey, leave a comment below if you've ever had a "could this be valuable" moment with a coin. I'd love to hear your stories.